Yo, back at you with another video. What's going down? Like, share the video. We're going to talk that talk. It's a late night show. Yeah. I'm back to back, yo. I was on here last night. I'm on here tonight, too. Back to back. Back to back. Back to back. Back to back. You know what it is, man. Yeah. Smash the like button. You know what it is. Back to back. Back to back. Man. Another look like fall is upon us. It's chilly outside. Summer is over. Pretty much, summer is over. So, it's time to move on. Taking advantage of these pandemic times. And P.S. and by the way, the people that take advantage of these pandemic times, they'll get rewarded in the long run. No doubt about that. If you take advantage of these times where people are kind of stagnant, some people are afraid, scared, they don't know what to do. Them type of people. If you take advantage of these times, you will be rewarded in the future. You're going to be way ahead of most people. You're going to be positioned way ahead of most guys. No doubt about it. These times it's not time to run scared and be afraid and be confused. I don't know what to do. These times you should take charge. These times you should be aggressive. During these times, you should have a sense of direction, where you want to go, what you want to do, who you want to become in these times. This is not the time to be in party mode, where a lot of people love to party. You love to have a good time. This is not that type of time. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't have fun. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying you shouldn't be you shouldn't be acting like this is 2018. You shouldn't be acting like it's 2 years ago. No, that's a mistake. And if you act like that, you're going to struggle in the following years. You're going to have some hard times. See, as a man, check this out. As a man, it's not in your best interest to act like things aren't the way it is. To be all confused, to act like women, basically. You know how women, when that little fantasy world most women are in, that's not the business. That's not what men do. Now, you can act like that, but you're going to be punished in some way, shape, or form. See, women can play that game and act dumb, stupid, like they don't know what's going on. Women can do that, and nothing happens to them. They'll get a slap on the wrist. But men, no, we got to take charge. We got to take charge. You know, it's like if you don't like something, find a way to do something about it. If you don't like how you're being treated, leave that location. Move. If you don't like how you're being treated, if you don't like something about your life, find a way to do something about it. Don't complain about it because nobody cares. Nobody cares about your life. Nobody cares about your life. That's just reality. Which brings me to my topic of my conversation. When a lot of these dudes run into these beautiful women, and I use that term very subjectively, when they run into these beautiful women, they just assume just because she's attractive, she's a good girl. Doesn't work out like that. You still have to vet these women. It takes time to do that. It takes more than 2 months, 6 months, 12 months. It's not a good idea to assume just because she look good, smell good, taste good, cook good. That doesn't mean she's necessarily a good woman. That doesn't necessarily mean she's a good fit for a wife. She might be a good time girl. There's plenty of good time girls. That's the majority of women are good time girls. But when it comes to being a wife, most women don't qualify. Most women don't qualify for kids. Sure, a lot of guys knock them up. A lot of women have kids, but that don't mean they were qualified. This is why when you knock a woman up and she ain't qualified to have kids, you catch hell. Because you shouldn't have been fucking with her from get-go, from jump. And now you mad and upset because she's keeping you away from your kid. She's using the kid as a pawn, as leverage against you. But see, you got to take responsibility for that. You can't run from that. You can't put all the blame on the woman for that. You put your penis inside her vagina. So you got to take some responsibility for that. See, a lot of us, we like to smash. And if things go left, we get into blaming and we don't want to take responsibility for our actions. You can't pick what you should take responsibility for. That's corny. That's called being not responsible for your actions. Some guys like to pick what they want to be responsible for, just like women do. Most women are like this in America. When things are going well, oh, yes, I did it. Yes, it was me. If it wasn't for me, he wouldn't have ever achieved it. Every good man has a strong woman in his corner, right? If things go left, all of a sudden things shift. It's his fault. I didn't have anything to do with it. I don't know what's wrong with him. See, that's what women do. Guys shouldn't do that. No, guys, see, everything that happens to you in your life, you bear some of the responsibility. Really, all, really. Because now, is everything your fault? No, everything is not your fault because certain circumstances and certain actions were out of your control. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond. But at the same time, it's your life, so you still have to take responsibility. That's just what it is. I know you might not like it, but nobody said you had to like it. I realized everything bad. I realized everything bad that happened to me is because I made a bad decision somewhere and I didn't know what I was doing. Yeah, it happens all the time. You're not gonna make good decisions all the time. You want to minimize your mistakes by using logic and just being a practical thinking guy. If you use your logic, if you use logic and think practical, you minimize most of your mistakes. But if you use your emotions to make decisions, oh, that's where you fall. That's where you get in trouble. See, that's what women do. Women, they get all emotional inside, get all bubbly, and you're like, I shouldn't be with him, but I'm going home with him tonight. So that's what women do. And the next day, she'll have remorse because she knows she shouldn't have been with that guy. She knows she shouldn't be around that guy, but she's with him anyway because he makes her feel a certain type of way. See, it's not a good idea for a man to be that way because there's consequences to that. I mean, there's consequences for women too, but it just doesn't work out the same when it comes to us. And a lot of this has to do with nationality and the politics and I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, but you know what I'm talking about. I didn't have the tools to understand the consequences. None of us did, damn near. And then the consequences usually change during depending on what time frame it is or the environment. So most of us didn't we didn't know. Your parents can only tell you or show you what they've experienced or what they know. I mean, if your parents grew up in a time, my parents were born my dad was born in 1925 and my mom was born in 1933. So that was a long time ago. different rules, different environment, slavery. They lived through Jim Crow, all that shit. There's different rules back then, man. The environment was different. No, most people didn't even have cars back then when they were born. Technology wasn't like it is. TV was, limited. Telephone was the big thing back then. If you had a telephone, So that's the time my parents grew up. And I'm born 1970. I'm not gonna put my age out there, but I'm born in the 70s. So think about this for a second. My parents born in the 20s and 30s, and I'm born in the 70s. That's a hell of a gap. And I'm the youngest out of 7. So I'm growing up 70s, 80s. I graduated high school in the 90s. That's a long time. There's no way in hell nobody's parents can keep up with what's going on throughout the years. It's no way. There's no way, man. It's impossible. Now, they give you the basics. They give you the wisdom. Yeah, that's cool. But as far as what's going on in society and keeping up with all the BS, parents can't keep up with all that nonsense. Now, what they can give you is wisdom, social game rules. Yeah, they can give you that. The psychology between men and women, or just psychology between the sexes, just in general. Yeah, they can give you the basics. The basic framework of manhood and womanhood. If you a girl growing up, they can teach you how to be a man or woman. Yeah. But the reality is they can't teach you everything. Some things can't be taught. That's just reality. Sometimes you need to watch somebody do something. You got to pick things up through osmosis. That's what I did with my parents. I just watched my mom and my dad, how they conducted themselves in public around people. And to this day, I use some of those same activities, same way of being, same way of thinking, same way of doing. That's all. But you can't teach that. Some of the stuff they were doing, I don't even think they realized it. They were just, that's who they are. That's what they was all about. And my parents wasn't rich. My dad, he was blue collar. He worked at the power plant. He worked at the power plant for like 25 years. And he retired. He wasn't rich. He had a good paying job, My mom was the type of person that she was a very talented woman. She could do she was multi-talented. She could sing, she could write, she could speak in public, she could sew, she could she could bake, she could cook, She could she was like she was a saleswoman. She was multi-talented, you know. She could speak in public, all that shit. Cause to this day I haven't met a younger version of my mom in this day and time. I haven't met that woman yet. I swear, I'm still looking for her. I haven't met a younger version of my mom yet. Not yet. Now I met some woman that can speak, yeah. They can't sew. They cook, yeah, you know, but they're not very nurturing like my mom was. You know, not very, they lack empathy and compassion for people. You know, I mean, think about it. The average woman today, if she doesn't like you, she won't have no compassion or no empathy for you. Think about that for a second. If a woman don't like you, she won't care about you. No compassion, no empathy, none whatsoever. It doesn't matter how she look either. That's how the average woman is out here today. Now, back in the day, it wasn't like that. And I'm not saying all women are like that, but the majority in America, they're like that. If a woman doesn't like you, don't know you, she don't give a shit about you. She can walk past, you might be a homeless man, she'll walk past you, she'll see the homeless man taking food out the damn trash to eat. She'll walk past like he's invisible. Yeah. That's what you got out here. This is the American creation. The American nightmare. That's what I call it. You know? Now, there's some women that I know personally are like this, but they're not like that towards me. But that doesn't mean that they're not like that. I know they're like that towards other guys. But me personally, I would not settle with them because of that. Because their values are different from mine. And see, if you have kids with a woman like that, those values are going to be passed down to the kids 9 times out of 10, especially if it's a girl. I don't want my daughter to have those type of values. I don't. Those cutthroat values. You know? But hey, smash the like button, man. Smash the like button. And hey, if you have any questions, man, hit the link. Just click on the link. Yeah, you know, it's a different type of game today. It's the same game, but you have to go about things in a different type of way today. If you wanna win, you know. whatever your definition of success is. And it might not be. See, here's the good thing about this life, this thing we call life. You don't have to be in the same location where you live. No. You can get on a plane and fly someplace else. Go where you're appreciated more, celebrated more, desired more. Why not? You never heard me say that you shouldn't travel and meet women elsewhere. You never heard me talk against that. Never. I'd be a hypocrite if I were to say, hey, man, just stay over here, man, and work it out. Look, man, I'm not going to tell no man what to do with his life. Nah, I would never say anything like that. You know. Now, I'll tell you how it is on the other side. If I've been there, if I've been in that country, or if I've been in that environment, or if I dated that type of woman, yeah, I'll tell you how it is over there. I'll tell you. I'll give you some. I've given plenty of input, advice. Yeah, but I never say don't do it. I say, hey, if you go on that other side over there, this is what you're gonna get. You're gonna have some problems. That's how it is. You gotta make your choices. Every man has to make their own choices. That's in the best interest of who? Him. Not your parents, not your family, not the boss at work, not your kids. You got to do what's best for you. And that's how it is. That's how it should be anyway. Now, some people will say, well, you shouldn't say it should be like this, it shouldn't be like that, or whatever, man. You got to do what's in best interest for you. It's your life. Like I said before I started, when I first started this live, no one cares about your life more than you. It's never going to happen. It's always going to be that way, too. To think anything else, other than that, you're cheating yourself. And like I always say, you got to do what works best for you. Now, maybe you might not know what that is at this point in time, but you can figure it out. And the best part about it, us guys, we don't have no clock. We don't have no clock. We don't gotta be in our 20s to produce. We don't have to. We can be in our 40s and we still good, as long as we're in good health. 40s, 50s, we can still produce. And the older we get, the more financially stable, more money we tend to make. The world is yours. Really, it's really up to you. Really. All you need is what? 2 to 5 people. As far as your circle of influence, certain people that you mesh with, gel with, build with. All you need is 2 to 5 people. You don't need 100 people, 300 people. I know the movie 300. The movie 300 said, "Hey, we only need three. We got 300 men. We fighting against thousands. You don't need 300 people. All you need is 2 to 5 people, man. At best, 10 people. At best, 10 people. You good with that? I'm talking tight. 2 to 5 people or 10 people. I'm talking tight, like Voltron. That's all you need. That should be your goal right there. You don't gotta have. You don't have to. You can do a lot with that. You don't gotta be a goddamn politician. You can do a lot with that. Yeah, you know. See, I learned that from my mom growing up. But my mom, she knew a gang of people. Everybody knew my mom. It's crazy. She knew people all over the country. South Carolina, Florida, Georgia, all over the damn country. New York. The thing I was wondering, hey, why does she know? What's the purpose of even knowing all these damn people at the time? See, I'm a kid at the time. I don't understand. I don't really understand what's going on. Reason why she knew all these people, it was more of a networking thing for her. It's more of a she used to leverage all these people. Whenever she wanted to get something done or promote something, she would call all these people up and make some shit happen. It's kind of like religion. How people use religion is like their own little economy. My mom did the same thing too. The only difference is she leveraged other people outside of the church, outside of religion. So you didn't necessarily have to be a Christian for her to know you or talk to you, socialize with you, hang out with you. She took it a step further than what most religious people would do. Most religious people, they just keep things amongst themselves. She expanded. So she did the same thing that most of these religious people do today. You know, they got their own little economy. Most of these people don't make a lot of money, but they don't have to make a lot of money, though. That's the thing. They make just enough money or above, you know, make a pretty decent living and take care of their families or take care of themselves. So they use the people as leverage. That's all it is. And there's nothing wrong with that. But just keep in mind the religion, in most cases, is just a front. That's all it is. It's just a front. Now, of course, there's some hanky-panky shit going on. We know that. But who cares? I don't care nothing about that. I don't care nothing about the hanky-panky shit. Look, man, anybody that's wearing anything that look something like a dress, something going on. I'm not saying everybody doing some hanky panky shit, but it's always gonna be some hanky panky shit going on. If somebody's wearing something that looks like a dress, come on, man. You don't gotta be a genius to figure this shit out. This shit been going on though. It's not new. It's been going on for hundreds of years, man. He goes back all the way to Rome, man. It's not new, man. People just don't talk about it. Act like it doesn't exist or whatever. And that's their prerogative. Just don't come around me with that nonsense. That's all I got to say. But hey, I digress. Hey, but the moral of the story is my mom. I learned this from my mom. Now here's where I struggled. You see, my mom had a different type of personality, and I don't have her personality. Of course, there's certain parts of her that resonate with me, but I don't have her type of personality. She's like kind of like a bubble type personality. People automatically warm up to her. Sometime within seconds. I'm not like that with everybody. That's where I struggle at. I'm like that with the people that I hit it off with, or the people that I like. And some of these people that I like, they don't necessarily like me that much. So that's where I kind of struggle. It's in regards to my mom personality and how she went about doing things. Now I took some of my mom's personality and I applied it to my social life. And it works, But that's only about, I would say, maybe 20% of what she was like. Only 20%. I mean, if I could be at least 50% of my mom and my dad, I'd be happy with that, to be honest. I'd be happy with that if I was just 50% of who they were and what they stand for and what they did and what they accomplished. And like I said, they were not rich. They're working class people. But they were, to me, they were uncommon people that just happened to be working class. But see, the key is you can do a lot with people. See, people are the money. Because you have no leverage without people. So I took the same concept and I flipped it. I have no leverage without women. I just flipped it. Now, of course, it has to be a certain type of women. Can't just be the ratchets, hood chicks, prostitute, and some dudes, some I hit it off. I got some pretty close buddies, close guys too. But I'm talking about women for this example. I have no leverage without women. So what it is, instead of having one woman, I might have 2, 3, 4, 5 that I'm real close with, right? And the rest of them, they cool. We're associates. Hey, we ain't necessarily We ain't friends. We ain't, we're not that close either. But she good money. It's like that. You can't be close with everybody. It's impossible. There's too many people. So I keep in contact. I keep in contact with a lot of people, to be honest. I don't know how I do it, but I do. But it's the same thing my parents did. And they didn't have no internet back then. All they had was the telephone and mail. That's it. Telephone and mail. And they used the church as like a, how do I say this? The church was like a meetup spot when I was growing up. Yeah, just like the strip club is like the meetup spot here in Atlanta. The strip club is like a meetup spot, just like the church was like a meetup spot. I think certain churches is like a meetup spot today in this day and time. But I don't know. I don't go to church, so I wouldn't know. But I think it's about the same, you know. Yeah, and see, I've never heard anybody talk about this type of stuff. Almost nobody talks about it, you know. And there's nothing bad about it. I ain't got nothing against religion, but I know some hanky panky shit going on. And I know it's not what they make it out to be. It's something else. It's much deeper than just religion. But people are the money. You leverage the people, you leverage relationships, opportunities. And see, your life is dictated upon the relationships you make with people. That's what it is. If you have a money problem, you got a relationship problem. That's what it is. If you're not making enough money, your relationships is probably not that good. See, I always looked at it like this. If I can get the relationship thing down right, the money's gonna come eventually. Now, I said this like 15 years ago. 15, yeah, about 20 years ago. Probably like 20 years ago. I said, hey, if I can get the relationship, if I can just meet more people, if I can put myself in a position to meet more people, if I can get in front of the right people, the money gonna come eventually. That's what I said 20 years ago. The opportunities will come eventually. Now, when I was thinking this and speaking this into existence, I didn't know where I was going to end up at. Exactly. I didn't know what could have been in another country. I didn't know. You can't worry about how you're going to do what you're going to do. You just got to get it started, get it going. Got to get it started. And the right people will show up. And when the opportunity presents itself, you got to take it. Could be a man or a woman that show up. You just never know. That's how things usually shape out. See, most people got to have all the answers before they get started. They got to know where it's going, what's going to happen, who's going to help me, and they never get started. See, playing it safe, that's a loser's game today. This ain't 1992 or 1987. Them days is over. You got to build a team, a championship team. Because, see, you're only as strong as the people you have around you. You can't do everything. You can't be everywhere. I learned that the hard way. You can't do everything. You can't. It's impossible. You have to trust somebody at some point. You got some people, some guys don't trust nobody. I'm like, come on, you gotta trust somebody, bro. God damn. You living that life? You're gonna crash and burn eventually. I mean, you can't trust, you can't find one person that you trust. God damn, bro. You living that life? That don't pay. That way of living don't pay, man. I tried that. I lived that life. It don't pay. You crash and burn eventually, or go under, and then you have to start all over again. It ain't gonna work. I'm telling you, it ain't gonna work. I've seen it happen many times, including myself. Smash the like button and hit the Cash App, man. And P.S. by the way, don't forget to check out the Love Can't Wait podcast. You can check me out on iTunes, Google, Shopify, Anchor, Amazon. I'm everywhere, man. Everywhere where there's audio being played. iHeartMedia, you name it. I've been on here almost an hour. Yeah. I mean, what if you meant the perfect, what does the perfect woman look like to you? What's the characteristics of the perfect woman? Where's my phone at? And what are the characteristics of the perfect woman for you? Somebody asked me last week, if I remember correctly, what's my definition of the perfect woman? How would I describe the perfect woman for me? That's the question I got. Which is the easy answer. I can describe that in about 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. What the perfect woman would be like, you know? But my definition, more than likely, my way of seeing women is probably going to be different from yours. And I always say, and it doesn't have to be one woman either. Doesn't have to be one woman. You can have multiple women, but it's all the same to me. The type of woman is all the same. Whether it's one woman, two women, or whatever, Always looking at it. See, a woman should be like a, a breath of fresh air. A woman should of course a woman should be loving, caring, nurturing, all of that. That's almost a given. Look good, that's a given. You have to be attracted to her, of course, yeah. But her values have to be, if not the same, very similar to mine. And does she want kids? How does she think about family? A lot of that stuff has to be in line with my way of thinking. Is she fit for marriage or unfit? You know, these are some of the things that I think about. And I don't necessarily have to be trying to get married to her, but these are the types of women that I like being around. Women that care about their families. Women that are family oriented. I don't hang around ratchets. Or women that belong to the streets. I don't hang around them types no more. I used to, but not no more. You know. I did that when I was in my 20s. Hang around the ratchets, chick that belong to the streets, the women that come out when it get dark. You know. Now, here's the thing. Today, these women can confuse guys. Because the ratchets, you work with the ratchet chicks today. The ratchets went to college. They got good jobs now. See, you didn't really see the ratchet chicks when I was growing up with good jobs like that. The ratchet chicks, she probably used to be a stripper, went to college, and now she work at Bank of America. It be like that now. It's changed up a bit. A lot of guys can be fooled out here. You got some guys are suckers. They'll marry they'll marry a stripper. That makes no sense to me. I don't know why a dude would do that. You got this guy, he's a square. He don't know nothing about no street life, no street etiquette, none whatsoever. But he's a what do they call it? L7 briefcase wearing fool. Basically, he'll marry a stripper. There's a guy down the street that did that I know personally. And he be complaining how, man, I think she cheated on me. I'm surprised that you surprised. All them guys she was sleeping with before you got with her? What's wrong with you? You crazy. She ain't crazy. You crazy. Shit. You know? I mean, he's just asking for a disaster. So a lot of these guys, man, I don't know. Maybe he was trying to save him, be Captain Save him. I don't know, but it didn't work out. It's not working out for him. He already got one baby for the girl. You know, she's in and out of the strip club. She stopped stripping for a couple years, but the money wasn't coming in fast enough. So he worked a job. So I guess she wanted more money. So she went back in the strip club. So see, them type of women, they don't care about no family. They don't look at it as, she got to be a good example for the baby, and which is a daughter too. She don't look at it like that. She doesn't care. She just cares about the money. You can't build nothing with nobody that's like that. It's not gonna work. And see, you have to understand, a woman like that, ain't no telling how many guys she done ran into. And see, a lot of women aren't built like that. And that stuff messes up a woman's mind. When she done ran through so many guys like that. And you can kind of tell, I can kind of tell a woman has been around, because whenever a thorough guy comes around, she won't really know how to behave, really, how to act. She'll be kind of uncomfortable with you, or a little, maybe a little, I would say, what's the word I'm looking for? She'd be a little uncomfortable sometimes, and she might feel like she don't measure up to who you are or what you stand for. I would say that too. You know, she wouldn't necessarily she wouldn't misbehave, or she won't act crazy around you. But it's kind of like she knows she'll never be able to measure up to who you are, because she chose to go the other side. You know, there's some women I met that were like that. It's kind of like they know that the best she can ever become is just what it is. We'll be close, but not too close. And she might care about you. She might even love you, but she would never say it. You know, but she'll care about you. And the reason why you know it, because her actions. She might even buy you shit. She'll pay for shit. Might take you out, and it'll be all on her. But she knows that this is the best it's ever gonna get with you, because you ain't ever gonna marry her. She knows this, you know. And it is what it is. And I have somebody that's close to me that's like that. She's unfit for marriage. She's unfit to have a family. She knows this. So she basically play her position. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some women don't know how to play their position. Man, and the train's moving. What's that, Amtrak? What the hell going on? It's almost 11 o'clock. What kind of train this is? It's almost 11 on the East Coast, and I'm on the East Coast. Yeah. I've been on here an hour, man. Man, I'm about to another 5 minutes, man. I'm gonna get off here. You know. Unless anyone got any questions. You know, any question, man, just click the link. These are just some things, man, you have to be conscious and aware of when you meet women out here, especially if you want to build something. Everybody's not fit, not qualified to build with, regardless of how she looks. And it can be tempting. Some women, how they look, it can be very It can be a lot of temptation there. This is why you have to discipline yourself. Now, when you're in your 20s, you ain't got no damn discipline in your 20s. Damn near. The average guy in the 20s ain't got no damn discipline. But as you get older, once you get past the flesh, you'd be like, man, most of these women are the same, bro. They ain't too much different. The only thing that's different is you. That's the only thing that's different. You are the common denominator when it comes to these women. This is why you're the prize. But you don't realize it. You think she's the prize because she got a vagina. That's all women have a vagina. So what's the difference between one woman and the next woman? Oh, she's smaller, tall, whatever, bro. She still got a vagina. Some loose, some tight, but it's still a vagina. Some got ran through more than others, but it's still a vagina. Once you get past that, what else is there about her? Why is she so special? And that's where the rubber meets the road, my friend. You're the common denominator. Because when she gets with you, her life gets better. That's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be. In most societies, when the guy marries the woman, she elevates. And the guy, of course, the whole family elevates. That's how it's supposed to be now. Now, if the guy gets with a woman and the shit plummeted, oh no, that's when you got to reevaluate. And you might have to change up some shit. You might have to let her go. If that's the case. Something has happened. Something has went wrong. And everybody has known a guy that's like this. He was jolly and happy and so full of joy and happiness and optimistic about the possibilities of this living life and accomplishing things. When he got with that woman, all that shit was gone. He's fat, sloppy, gray, depressed, damn near suicidal. Everybody knowing a guy that was like that. And when he got rid of that woman, he became like a new person. And he might have got married again. And he just takes off. And then that same woman that he let go is looking like, what the hell? How come he didn't do that when we was together? Well, the reason why he didn't do that when y'all was together, because you were a cancer to him. He made the mistake of getting with you. You probably manipulated him. And it's never a woman's fault if things aren't things going south. It's like, I don't know what's wrong with him. He was angry all the time. I don't know. Now, that women are some of the smartest women in the world when things are going well. But they are the dumbest when things aren't going well. When things aren't going well, they can't figure out anything. And then all of a sudden, they dumb now. I don't know what's going on. I didn't throw the hand up. I don't know. He's angry all the time. He lost his job and he was always calling me names and cursing me out. Yeah, you probably had a lot to do with it. You played a part in it. This is what happens. A lot of guys. This is why a lot of guys don't do very much. They don't accomplish very much of anything because of the woman or the women that they have around. And that's what it is. You're only as strong as the people you have around you. Just keep that in mind. The game is to put yourself in a position to win. It's all about the win, 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 win.